Alex lived in a small, quiet city. His apartment was simple, neat, and filled with books and small gadgets he liked to tinker with. Life was calm, sometimes a little lonely, but comfortable. Every day was predictable: work, dinner, a little reading, and sleep. He liked it that way. One sunny morning, a moving van pulled up next door. Boxes were stacked high and someone unfamiliar was moving in. Alex watched from his window, curious but cautious. The new neighbor was unusual. Tall and thin, with skin that shimmered slightly in the sunlight and eyes that seemed far too bright. Alex blinked. Was he imagining things? The figure looked around, then waved. Alex hesitated. He wasn't the type to greet strangers, but something about the way the neighbor moved, careful, almost graceful, made him feel safe. He waved back, over. The next few days, Alex noticed strange sounds and smells coming from the apartment next door. Sometimes a soft hum, almost like music but not quite. Other times, scents of unfamiliar spices and sweet smells floated through the hallway. Alex sniffed curiously but could not recognize them. Then on the third day, Alex found a small container placed outside his door. Inside was food. It smelled wonderful and looked unlike anything he had ever seen. The colors were bright, the shapes unusual, but it smelled inviting. He hesitated, thinking about safety. He didn't know this neighbor at all. After a moment, curiosity won. He took the container inside and carefully opened it. The food steamed gently. Alex took a bite. The taste was incredible, strange, fresh and warm, unlike any food from his city or even exotic restaurants he had tried. He stopped chewing, surprised at how much he liked it. The next day, there was another container outside his door, and the day after that, and the day after that. Alex didn't know why this was happening, but he could not help feeling grateful. Each day the meals were different. Sometimes they were sweet, sometimes savory, sometimes something he could not even identify, but all of them tasted amazing. Finally, he decided to knock on the neighbor's door. He had to know who this was. The door opened almost immediately, and Alex found himself face to face with the neighbor. He could hardly believe it. Thank you for the meals, Alex stammered. They are very good. The neighbor's eyes sparkled. I am glad you like them, they said in a soft, clear voice. I am Zyra. Alex blinked. Zyra? He repeated. Nice to meet you. I'm Alex. Zyra nodded and smiled. There was something warm and gentle about the way they moved. They gestured toward the small kitchen area behind them. I enjoy sharing meals. It is a way to connect. Alex raised an eyebrow. A way to connect? Zyra's smile widened. Yes. Food is communication. Feeling and thought can be shared through it. Alex was fascinated but confused. This was not like any human neighbor he had met. There was something special about Zyra. Something not human but kind and intelligent. Over the next week, Alex started to notice small details. Zyra's home had strange devices that hummed softly, lights that changed color depending on the time of day, and objects that floated for a moment, before settling gently. It was all very subtle, but Alex, who loved tinkering, noticed. He also noticed Zyra's habits. They would sometimes watch the city from their window, tilting their head as if observing patterns humans did not notice. They moved with care, almost like every step was deliberate. Yet Zyra seemed curious about Alex too, often peeking toward his window or leaving little gifts outside the door along with the meals. Flowers that seemed to glow faintly in the dark, small folded shapes made of a shiny, flexible material, and notes with strange symbols that Alex could not understand, but somehow felt soothing. One evening, Alex decided to accept an invitation Zyra had made. A note was left at his door. Come to share a meal with me. Together we can talk. Alex's heart raced. This was new, strange, exciting. He walked next door, holding a small bottle of juice he thought might be a safe gesture. Zyra greeted him at the door, smiling gently. Please sit, Zyra said, pointing to a low table in the center of the room. Alex sat, feeling a little awkward. The room was unlike any apartment he had seen. Light shimmered in patterns across the walls, and soft hums came from unseen machines. The air smelled faintly sweet and comforting. Zira placed a small plate in front of him. The food looked simple this time. Small dumplings filled with a colorful paste. Alex hesitated, then took a bite. The taste was unlike anything he could describe, comforting yet exciting, warm and soft, with hints of flavors he had never imagined. Zira watched him carefully. "Do you like it?" Alex nodded slowly, smiling. "It's amazing. How do you make this?" Zira tilted their head. "It is not just the ingredients. It is the thought put into it, the care, the sharing. That is important." Alex felt a strange warmth in his chest. Zira was unlike anyone he had ever met. They seemed to understand feelings and comfort in a way humans rarely did. The two talked for hours. Zira told stories of faraway places, strange worlds with skies of green and oceans of gold. They described creatures that communicated with light instead of sound, cities that floated in the air, and a culture that valued sharing and kindness above all else. Alex listened, captivated, imagining worlds he had never dreamed of. Alex found himself laughing, asking questions, and even sharing stories of his own. He told Zira about his quiet life, his work, his hobbies, and his small routines. Zira listened, carefully, tilting their head, making small gestures that showed understanding. By the end of the evening, Alex felt something he had not felt in a long time: connection. Truly connecting with someone who was different yet understood him in subtle ways. As he left to go back to his apartment, Zira handed him a small package. "For tomorrow," they said softly. Alex opened it in his own apartment. Inside was a small loaf of bread, soft and fragrant, with a note that read, "For your breakfast. May your day be good." Alex smiled. He did not know why Zira was being so kind, so thoughtful. He didn't know what to expect from this strange, gentle neighbor. But one thing was clear: life was no longer predictable. And somehow, he felt glad for it. The next morning, he took a bite of the bread, warm, soft, and comforting. And for the first time in a long while, Alex looked forward to the day, curious about what might happen next. He began to wonder, was Zira just friendly? Or was there something more behind the meals, the care, and the strange stories? For now, he decided he would enjoy the friendship, the curiosity, the mystery, and maybe, just maybe, a new chapter of his life was beginning. One filled with wonder, food, and a neighbor unlike any other. After the first dinner with Zira, Alex felt a strange excitement he had not felt in years. Life suddenly seemed richer, filled with curiosity and color. He found himself thinking about the shimmering neighbor, the glowing flowers, and the soft hums of the mysterious devices in their apartment. The next morning, another small package appeared at Alex's door. This time, it was a set of 3 small jars, each filled with a strange bright paste. A note read, "For your morning, choose the flavor you feel today." Alex stared at the jars. He didn't know what to expect, but curiosity won. He carefully opened one jar and tasted it. The flavor was sweet but tangy, with hints of textures he could barely identify. The taste made him feel alert, as if his mind had woken up before his body did. He smiled. Zira was unlike anyone he had ever met. Someone who cared so much about sharing and understanding that even breakfast could become an experience of joy. Later that day, Alex decided to visit Zira. He knocked gently. Zira opened the door immediately, as if expecting him. "Good morning, Alex," Zira said, their voice calm and warm. "You have chosen a flavor." Alex nodded, holding up the jar. "Yes, it's unusual, but amazing. I don't know how to describe it." Zira tilted their head slightly. "You do not need words. Feeling is enough." They invited Alex in, and he stepped into the softly glowing apartment once more. He noticed small changes since his last visit. A faint blue glow along the floor edges, a gentle hum that pulsed like a heartbeat, and a small plant that floated above a table spinning slowly. Alex couldn't help staring. Zira gestured for him to sit at the low table. On it were 3 new dishes, each one carefully plated, vibrant, and slightly floating above the surface as if held by invisible energy. "Today," Zira said, "I want to show you something about my world. A small taste, through food and story." Alex felt his curiosity peak. "How can food show me a world?" he asked. Zira smiled. "Not only through taste, through care, combinations, textures, and the time spent. Each dish tells a story." They began with a dish that looked like a small glowing sphere. Alex picked it up and it felt warm in his hand. As he bit into it, the flavors expanded like music. Sweet, then salty, then a faint hint of what he imagined might be sunlight. His mind seemed to stretch, seeing visions of alien cities floating in purple skies, forests where light was alive, and creatures moving in patterns that seemed like dance. Alex gasped. I can see it. I feel it." Zira nodded. "That is the purpose, sharing a piece of thought, a piece of home. You understand not only with senses but with mind." Alex was amazed. He had always loved science and discovery, but this was something completely new, something that no human technology could provide. It was connection through emotion and thought, experienced through food. After the meal, Alex and Zira sat on the soft floor cushions talking. Zira told stories of planets with skies of silver, oceans of liquid crystal, and creatures that communicated by colors and shapes instead of sound. Alex asked questions, and Zira patiently explained details, gestures, accompanying every word. Alex found himself laughing often, fascinated by Zira's descriptions. They were intelligent, wise, and yet still playful in ways that reminded Alex of a curious child. He felt drawn to Zira's energy, the way they noticed small details, and how they genuinely wanted to understand Alex's world too. In turn, Alex shared his life. He told Zira about his childhood in the city, his love for books and machines, and how he liked quiet routines. Zira listened, tilting their head, occasionally touching an object or pointing to a floating symbol in the air. Alex realized that Zira's interest was not only polite but genuine. They wanted to know him, understand his feelings and choices. Over the next several days, Alex and Zira's friendship deepened. Zira began showing Alex small ways of thinking differently. For instance, when Alex had a broken gadget, Zira suggested unusual materials and methods, teaching Alex to combine logic and creativity in new ways. Alex was amazed that such simple adjustments could solve problems he had struggled with for weeks. Zira also introduced Alex to small, fascinating experiments with food. One day, a simple meal of fruit changed its flavor depending on Alex's focus. If he thought of warmth and kindness, it tasted like honey. If he thought of adventure, it tasted like a burst of citrus and spice. Alex laughed in wonder. He had never experienced anything like this before. Through these meals and experiments, Alex noticed something remarkable. Zira didn't just communicate with words, they shared feelings, attention, and understanding. He realized that even though Zira was from another world, they were capable of deep empathy. Alex had met many humans, but few could understand and care in this way. One evening, as the sun set, Alex and Zira sat near the window. Outside, the city lights flickered, but the apartment glowed softly, a cocoon of warmth and safety. "Alex," Zira said, their voice gentle, "do you feel friendship?" Alex thought for a moment. "Yes," he said slowly. "I feel it. It's different but good. Strange but good." Zira's eyes seemed to shimmer. "It is more than different. It is understanding across worlds." Alex smiled, feeling a strange sense of pride. He had always believed humans were clever, capable, and strong. Now he saw that the human mind and heart could connect even with something completely alien. He felt a sense of hope and possibility he had not felt before. The next morning, Zira left another package at Alex's door. This time it was not food, but a small puzzle made of shifting light. Each piece floated in the air until Alex focused on it, and then it clicked into place. Solving it gave him a sense of satisfaction and connection. Alex realized something. Zira was teaching him to see the world differently. Not just the alien world, but his own. He was learning patience, curiosity, and empathy in new ways. Every day became an adventure, even if it was just opening the door and seeing what Zira had prepared. As the week passed, Alex noticed changes in himself. He laughed more, thought more creatively, and even started noticing small kindnesses in the city, like the way the sunlight hit the pavement or how neighbors smiled at each other. Zira's friendship was opening him up, making life brighter. One evening, as they sat sharing a quiet meal, Zira spoke softly. "Alex, humans are capable of great kindness, but sometimes they do not notice it in themselves." Alex paused. "I think I understand. You're saying I have more to give than I realize?" Zira nodded. "Yes, and you have already given me much. Your attention, your curiosity, your willingness to share life, that is connection. That is friendship." Alex felt a warmth in his chest. He realized that Zira had not only shared alien worlds with him, but had helped him see the beauty in his own world, the power of small actions and kindness. That night, as Alex returned to his apartment, he felt a new sense of purpose. Life was no longer just routines and quiet evenings. It was full of possibility, adventure, and wonder. And it had started with a neighbor who simply cared enough to cook lunch every day. For the first time, Alex wondered, what would tomorrow bring? And more curiously, what would he feel if Zira's care went beyond friendship? He smiled at the thought. He didn't have to know yet. For now, he was content to explore this new bond, this friendship across worlds, and to learn what it truly meant to connect. Not just with someone different, but with someone extraordinary. And as the city lights glimmered outside, Alex felt a quiet certainty. His life had changed forever. Something amazing had begun. The days that followed felt like a gentle rhythm of discovery for Alex. Each morning, a small package appeared outside his door. Sometimes food, sometimes objects, sometimes notes with strange symbols that seemed almost alive. Each interaction made him more curious about Zira, and each interaction deepened their connection. One evening, Alex returned home from work, tired but eager to see if Zira had left something. Outside his door, he found a small silver tray with 3 delicate bowls. The scent was warm, comforting, and oddly familiar. He lifted the top bowl and peeked inside. The food seemed simple, a soft golden mixture with tiny glimmers that caught the light. But when he tasted it, he felt a surge of warmth and calm wash over him. A note rested beside the tray. Written in neat flowing symbols, Alex could not read the words. But Zira had left a small diagram showing how to touch the symbols, causing them to glow and shift into words he could understand. "Come to my apartment tonight. I have something important to share." Alex's heart beat faster. Something important? He wondered what it could be. Curiosity won over hesitation. He decided to go. When he arrived at Zira's apartment, the soft glow welcomed him like a warm embrace. Zira stood near the center of the room, their eyes bright and calm. They gestured for Alex to sit on the floor cushion beside them. "Alex," Zira began, their voice gentle, "there is something I must tell you." Alex tilted his head, slightly nervous. "What is it?" he asked. Zira paused, taking a deep breath, or at least, Alex thought it looked like a deep breath. "I have shared meals, stories, and time with you for many days now. You have been kind, curious, and open-hearted. You understand more than most humans could." Alex smiled softly, unsure where this was going. "Thank you. I enjoy our time together too." Zira's eyes shimmered as they spoke. "Because of this, I wish to ask you something." Alex's stomach tightened. He felt a strange mixture of excitement and fear. Zira had already changed his life in ways he could not fully explain. What could come next? I wish to share my life with you completely, Zira said slowly. To be together, always. Will you accept me as your partner? Will you marry me? Alex froze. His mind spun. Marry? An alien? His neighbor? Someone completely different from everything he had ever known? He blinked, trying to process the words. I don't know what to say, he stammered. Zira's gaze remained calm, patient and gentle. You do not need to answer immediately. I only ask you to consider. Marriage in my culture is a promise of connection, respect, and care. The daily sharing of meals, attention, and time is the beginning of that promise. I have shared all these with you because I value you. Alex felt a warmth in his chest. Zira was serious but not demanding, not forcing. They were giving him the choice while sharing the truth of their feelings. I need to think, Alex said quietly. This is a lot. I mean, I care for you, Zira. But marriage? It's complicated. Zira nodded slowly. Yes, I understand. Humans think carefully about such things. I only ask that you feel, not only think. I want your heart, not only your mind. Alex exhaled. He had never experienced anything like this. His mind raced with questions. Could love exist across worlds? Could humans and aliens form a meaningful connection? Could he trust his feelings, which felt so strong, so real, even though Zira was unlike anyone he had ever known? Over the next few days, Alex tried to sort his thoughts. He reflected on every meal Zira had prepared, every story shared, every small gesture of care. He remembered the glowing flowers, the soft hums, the floating puzzle pieces, and the warmth that filled him whenever he spent time with Zira. He realized that the feelings Zira evoked were not just curiosity or fascination. They were deep and real. Zira had taught him patience, empathy, and joy. They had opened his mind to new ideas and his heart to new possibilities. Yet, there were doubts. People would never understand. Biology, culture, customs, all so different. Could he truly share a life with someone from another world? The questions weighed on him, yet he found himself returning to Zira's apartment each evening. The pull, of friendship and something deeper, was irresistible. One night, after a quiet meal of soft, glowing dumplings, Alex finally spoke. Zira, I've been thinking. What you asked, it's unusual for me. I never imagined anything like this, but I care for you. I really do. Zira tilted their head, eyes bright with understanding. That is all I ask for now. Care is the beginning. The heart will guide you in time. Alex smiled. He realized that marriage was not just a human ceremony. It was about trust, connection, and commitment. And Zira had already shown him these things through their daily acts of care. Over the following week, Alex allowed himself to explore these feelings further. He noticed how he felt when Zira smiled, or when they left a new gift at his door. He found joy in sharing stories, laughter, and even quiet moments together. Zira's presence had become essential to his happiness, and he realized that he wanted to continue this connection, whatever form it might take. Zira, meanwhile, continued to teach Alex small things about their culture. One evening, they presented him with a simple ritual, sharing a floating golden orb that symbolized trust. Alex held the orb, feeling warmth flow through him. Zira touched his hand lightly. This is the promise of understanding, they said. It is the beginning of deeper connection. Nothing more is required now. Alex felt a strange certainty. Love, he realized, was not always about shared biology or customs. It was about trust, care, and shared experiences. Zira had given him all of these. The next day, Alex left a small package at Zira's door, a loaf of bread, baked with care, and a note. For you, for your kindness. I am learning too. Zira's eyes brightened when they found it, and Alex felt a quiet satisfaction. He was learning indeed. About Zira, about himself, and about the strange, wonderful possibilities life could offer. One evening, as they shared a quiet meal, Zira spoke softly. Alex, humans are capable of great things. You have shown curiosity, patience, and care. These are qualities I value greatly. Alex looked at them, smiling faintly. And you've shown me something I never expected. Connection, understanding, friendship, and maybe more. Zira's gaze softened. Yes, perhaps more. But we move slowly as humans do. You may choose your time. Alex felt a sense of relief. He did not have to answer everything now. He could explore these feelings, understand them, and trust his heart. And he realized he wanted to. As he walked back to his apartment that night, the city lights twinkling like distant stars, Alex felt something he had never felt before. Anticipation, excitement, and a sense of wonder. Life had changed. It had become richer, brighter, and full of possibilities. He thought of Zira, their shimmering eyes, their stories, their meals, their care. And he realized that he wanted to continue this journey, together, across worlds, across differences, exploring what it truly meant to connect. Alex smiled. Perhaps he could not fully understand everything yet. Perhaps marriage, friendship, or love between worlds was strange and unknown. But he knew one thing for certain. The daily meals, the laughter, and the quiet moments with Zira had already created a bond stronger than he could have imagined. And for now, that was enough. The morning sun spilled into the city, golden and bright. For Alex, it felt like the start of something entirely new. Over the past weeks, his life had changed in ways he could never have imagined. From simple daily meals to deep conversations, from floating puzzles to shared challenges, he had grown, personally and emotionally. And now he faced a new chapter with Zira. Alex carried a small package in his hands as he walked toward Zira's apartment. Inside was a loaf of bread he had baked, soft and warm, mixed with a few small ingredients inspired by Zira's meals. It was his gesture of care, a reflection of the connection that had grown between them. When he knocked, Zira opened the door immediately, their eyes shining with curiosity and warmth. "Good morning, Alex," Zira said softly. "I wondered when you would come." Alex smiled. "I thought today would be a good day to share something with you." He handed the loaf to Zira. "I baked this for you. It's my way of showing how much I've learned from you and how much I care." Zira took the bread gently, their hands brushing his. "This is thoughtful. I am glad to see how much you have grown. Your care is felt, Alex." They set the bread aside and sat at the low table, which glowed softly in the morning light. Zira prepared a simple meal for both of them, combining familiar flavors with small surprises of alien ingredients. As they ate, they spoke of memories, of the first meals shared, of puzzles and floating lights, of moments of laughter and curiosity. Alex realized that their journey had been extraordinary, not because of alien powers or strange technologies, but because of connection. He had learned to see the world differently, to value patience, cooperation, and understanding. Zira had grown too, learning about human emotion, humor, and creativity. Together, they had built a bridge across worlds. After the meal, Zira placed a small glowing orb on the table. "Alex," they said, "today is a special day. I wish to celebrate not only our connection but also the possibility of something more. If you are willing, we can share a formal bond as my culture allows. It is a ceremony of promise, understanding, and respect." Alex felt a thrill of excitement. He had thought about this moment many times, imagining what it might be like. Now, it was real. He looked at Zira's calm, bright eyes and felt certainty in his heart. I would like that," he said softly. "I want to share this bond with you." Zira's eyes shimmered. "Then we shall begin." The ceremony was simple but beautiful. Zyra had prepared a space in their apartment, floating lights casting soft patterns on the walls. They placed small objects, symbols of trust, cooperation, and understanding, on the low table. Each symbol represented a value they both held dear: kindness, patience, curiosity, and care. Alex and Zyra took turns holding each symbol, speaking words of promise in both human language and the alien symbols that Alex had slowly learned to read. The words were not just spoken, they were felt, resonating through their minds and hearts. Alex realized that this bond was more than a ceremony. It was a true connection, one that transcended species, culture, and differences. After the ceremony, they shared a meal together, prepared with care and thought. Alex tasted the food, now richer with meaning, and realized that each bite was a reminder of their journey. The lessons learned, the trust built, the understanding earned. Later, they stepped out onto the balcony. The city stretched before them, lights twinkling like distant stars. Alex looked at Zyra, their glowing eyes reflecting the soft illumination around them. "I never imagined life could be like this," Alex said. "I mean, meeting you, learning, growing, sharing all of this, it feels extraordinary." Zyra tilted their head. "It is extraordinary, not because we are different, but because we chose to connect. That is the true gift. Together we create something stronger than either of us alone." Alex smiled, feeling a warmth that went beyond words. "You're right. I've learned so much from you. And I think I've also learned to be more human in a better way. More patient, more caring, more open." Zyra reached out and held his hand gently. "And I have learned much from you as well. Understanding, humor, emotion, these are qualities that deepen connection. We grow together." In the days that followed, they shared small adventures around the city. Zyra introduced Alex to minor experiments with alien technology, small ways to improve the neighborhood, and new ways to think creatively. Alex guided Zyra through human customs, helping them understand social nuances and city life. Together, they built a life full of cooperation, curiosity, and joy. Neighbors began noticing the changes too. Some were curious, some cautious, but most were amazed at how well the two worked together. Whether it was helping with a minor repair, organizing a small garden, or solving a problem with alien technology, Alex and Zyra showed that humans and aliens could collaborate successfully. One evening, as they prepared a quiet meal, Alex spoke thoughtfully. "I've realized something important. It's not just about understanding each other. It's about respecting differences and using them to grow. That's how we became stronger together." Zyra nodded. "Yes. Connection is not only acceptance but also learning from each other. And together, humans and aliens can create something remarkable." Over time, Alex's confidence in their bond grew. He no longer worried about differences, misunderstandings, or what others might think. He had seen firsthand that respect, patience, and care could overcome fear and doubt. He also realized that Zyra's love and friendship were not strange. They were genuine, profound, and deeply valuable. As the weeks passed, they continued sharing meals, stories, and small projects. Each day brought new understanding, laughter, and joy. Alex noticed small changes in himself. He was more patient with others, more observant, more willing to explore the unknown. He felt a sense of purpose he had never known before. One night they sat together on the balcony, looking at the city lights, the glow of distant towers reflected in Zyra's shimmering eyes. Alex felt a wave of gratitude and wonder. "Zyra," he said softly, "I never imagined that something as simple as sharing a meal could lead to all this. Friendship, understanding, love. It's more than I could have hoped for." Zyra smiled, a soft glow radiating from their skin. "And I am grateful for you, Alex. You taught me about human warmth, patience, and emotion. Together we found something neither of us could find alone." Alex reached out and took Zira's hand. They sat in comfortable silence for a while, enjoying the quiet connection, the glow of the city, and the sense of shared purpose. The story of Alex and Zira became known quietly in their neighborhood, not through announcements or media, but through the acts of kindness, cooperation, and understanding they demonstrated daily. Neighbors who were once curious or fearful became accepting, inspired by the bond they saw. Humans and aliens, once separate, were learning to collaborate and coexist. Alex thought about how life had changed since that first lunch Zira had left at his door. What had started as simple curiosity had grown into a journey of growth, trust, and profound connection. Each meal, each story, each shared challenge had built a foundation stronger than either of them could have imagined. One evening, as they shared a quiet dinner, Zira placed a small glowing flower in Alex's hand. "This is for you," they said softly, "a symbol of growth, care, and connection. As it blooms, so does our bond." Alex smiled, feeling a surge of emotion. "Thank you, Zira, for everything, for teaching me, caring for me, and showing me what's possible when we open our hearts." Zira's eyes shone. "And thank you, Alex, for your curiosity, your kindness, and your willingness to connect. Together we will continue to learn, grow, and explore the possibilities of our worlds." As the night settled, Alex realized a simple truth. Life was extraordinary, not because of power or technology, but because of connection. With Zira, he had discovered a bond that transcended worlds, species, and differences. He had found friendship, trust, understanding, and love, all in the most unexpected way. And in that moment, Alex knew with certainty that this was only the beginning. The world was vast, the possibilities endless, and with Zira by his side, he was ready to explore them all. Together they sat in quiet contentment, sharing stories, meals, and dreams. Outside, the city glimmered with promise, and inside, their bond shone brighter than any light. For Alex, the simple act of sharing a meal with his alien neighbor had transformed into a journey of growth, understanding, and love. A journey that would continue across worlds, across differences, and across hearts. And so life moved forward, richer, brighter, and full of extraordinary possibilities. Because humans, when open to connection and understanding, could achieve truly remarkable things. The night was quiet, but Daniel knew the peace would not last. The hunter ships were out there, waiting, planning their next strike. The colony had survived the first attack, but the danger was far from over. Aelia sat beside him, her glowing eyes dimmed from exhaustion. She had given all her energy in the previous battle, helping protect the colony and its people. Daniel looked around the makeshift command center they had set up in his home. Maps of the surrounding terrain covered the walls, and small devices monitored signals in orbit. Farmers, engineers, and even children had helped set traps and warnings. The colony was ready, in its own way. Not with great armies or advanced weapons, but with courage, cleverness, and unity. The true strength of humans. Aelia's voice broke the silence. "Daniel, they will return, stronger this time." He nodded. "Yes, but this time, we will. Be ready. Humans are not easy to defeat. You've seen that," she smiled faintly. "I have, and now I know why humans are remembered across the stars. You never give up, no matter the odds." The next morning, the horizon darkened with the shadows of approaching ships. The hunters had returned, more numerous and organized than before. Their black hulls glimmered in the sunlight, reflecting the fear they carried with them. The colonists gathered, tense but resolute, ready to defend their home. Daniel addressed them, his voice steady. "We fought once and survived. Today we fight again, not just for me, not just for her, but for our homes, our families, and our future. Remember, we are humans. We endure, we adapt, and we never surrender." A cheer rose from the crowd. Ordinary. Farmers, teachers, and children stood together, holding tools, homemade weapons, and shields. Some carried energy coils that Daniel had helped them repair. They were not soldiers, but they were determined, and determination could not be measured in armor or firepower. Aelia stood beside Daniel, lifting her hands. Her silver glow shimmered across the field, a beacon of hope. "I will fight with you," she said. "Together, we can stop them." Daniel nodded. "Then let's show them the strength of humans, and the courage of those who stand with us." The battle began with a thunderous roar. Hunter ships fired energy beams, striking the fields and the edges of the colony. Humans scattered, using trenches, barns, and natural cover to avoid direct hits. But Daniel had taught them to use clever traps. Nets made from wires and energy coils tripped drones, while makeshift barricades slowed soldiers' advance. Aelia moved among the colonists, her hands glowing. She raised energy shields to protect groups of civilians, and occasionally sent pulses of light to stop advancing enemies. Each time she acted, she weakened herself, but she never stopped. Daniel saw her determination and felt a surge of pride. Humans had their spirit, but with Aelia's power, they had a chance to defend the colony fully. Hunters advanced steadily, but every step was met with human ingenuity. They underestimated the farmers and engineers, thinking their tools were weak. But humans had always turned the simplest things into weapons when survival demanded it. In the middle of the chaos, a group of young colonists trapped several hunter drones by luring them into energy nets. Aelia quickly deactivated one drone with a pulse of her power, and the others fell into the trap. Daniel ran across the battlefield coordinating defenses. "Move left, use the barn, push the energy coil there." His commands were simple, yet effective. Every colonist understood the plan and acted. Ordinary people united made the hunters pause in confusion. One of the hunters, larger than the rest and heavily armored, broke through a barricade and advanced toward Daniel. He raised his weapon. Daniel's heart raced. Aelia saw the danger and stepped in front of Daniel, raising a shield of silver light. The hunter struck, but the energy pushed him back. Daniel grabbed a nearby tool and hurled it, striking the hunter's armor. Sparks flew. The human ingenuity and alien power combined to create an unexpected advantage. The tide of the battle began to turn. The hunters had expected easy victory, but humans were unpredictable. They fought with heart, with strategy, and with courage. Families and neighbors protected one another, creating barriers and traps on the fly. The smallest human gestures, a thrown rock, a tilted energy coil, a clever diversion, slowed the hunters down. Aelia, though exhausted, continued to protect the colonists. Her glowing hands sent waves of energy toward advancing enemies, not to destroy but to stop. Each wave drained her strength, but the humans' determination inspired her. She realized that together, humans and she could overcome even the most advanced forces. Daniel watched the hunters retreat in confusion. Their leader signaled a withdrawal, clearly frustrated. The colonists had shown strength they did not expect. They were ordinary humans, but humans with spirit, courage, and unity. When the dust settled, the colony was battered but alive. The fields were damaged and some buildings burned, but no lives were lost. Colonists tended to one another, comforting the scared and treating the injured. Daniel walked among them, exhausted but proud. Aelia approached him. "You see, humans are not just survivors. You are fighters. You inspire even those from other worlds." Daniel smiled, feeling the truth of her words. "You helped, Aelia. You were part of this victory. But it was the humans here who made the difference. They refused to give up, refused to surrender, and refused to betray what was right." Aelia looked around the colony, seeing the small fires, the people helping each other, the hope in their eyes. "Yes, and that is why your kind is special. You endure and you protect, even when the odds are against you." Daniel's heart swelled with pride. He realized that the battle was not just about survival, but about proving something greater, that humanity's spirit could inspire even the galaxy. In the following days, the colony rebuilt. Fields were replanted, barns repaired, and homes strengthened. Daniel and Alia worked side by side, preparing for the possibility of another attack. But there was a new sense of confidence in the colony. Humans had faced danger together and prevailed. Alia had earned her place among them. She no longer hid in fear but worked openly with the colonists, sharing knowledge and helping plan defenses. In turn, the humans treated her as one of their own, seeing that her heart was as brave as theirs. Daniel reflected on the journey. He remembered the first night when he thought Alia was a thief. Now, she was not just a stranger or a refugee. She was a symbol of trust, courage, and unity. The humans had proven themselves worthy of that trust. One evening, Daniel and Alia stood on a hill overlooking the colony. The sun set, painting the sky with red and gold. Children played near repaired fields and farmers tended crops with renewed determination. Alia turned to Daniel. "You have shown me what humans can be. Even when small, even when ordinary, you are strong in ways the hunters cannot understand. You have spirit, courage, and unity." Daniel smiled. "We fight not for glory or power. We fight because it is right, because it protects those we care for. That is our legacy." Alia nodded. "And I will carry this with me. Your courage and compassion will be remembered beyond this colony, beyond these stars. Humans are remarkable." Daniel laughed softly. "Maybe we just never give up. That is our gift." The two of them stood in silence, watching the sun sink behind the distant hills. The battle was over, for now, but the lessons remained. Humanity had survived, not because of weapons or strength alone, but because of something deeper: hope, unity, and the refusal to bow in the face of fear. Alia had found more than shelter. She had found a home, and she had discovered why humans were remembered, feared, and admired across the galaxy. Daniel had learned, too, that even ordinary people could achieve extraordinary things when they stood together. And so, the colony of Leora thrived once more, a small beacon of humanity's enduring spirit. The hunters might return one day, but the humans and their alien friend were ready. For humans, giving up was never an option. The stars above shone quietly, and the light of hope burned brightly below.